that we had gotten from the people, and we went and locked ourselves in a hotel for 2 days trying to analyze all this. We sat down, we analyzed with the leaders, we knew what our priorities were, and then even the following week we were able even to give our CDF, we were able to give information to the government what we require for our projects to carry on. And this is why you hear Kadhiani, and with no doubt, and I don't know whether there are a few Kadhiani people here. In Kadhiani, if I tell you electricity, when I took Kadhiani, we were at 15%. Today, we are at 70% with electricity. By the end of this year, we'll be at 95%.
Okay, let's keep going. Question from the front, please. Go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Victoria from Machakos Central Ward. My question goes to the aspiring governors. I'm asking now, like Madam here talked of education. We have those young girls there, those dropouts you're talking of. How are you, okay, what strategy are you going to use to mentor those young girls, those young women out there, because they lack mentorship? You find that someone has maybe given birth, and because maybe the parent will like, you've given birth, you can sit here. No, that person can be encouraged, and she can go on with her studies, and at least we are developed. That's my question.
Okay.
We have the youth polytechnics. We know not everybody can afford to go to a university now, or not everybody gets enough grades to go to the university. So what we do, we have started, from the Ministry of Youth Affairs, we have started rebuilding our youth polytechnics so that anyone who has dropped out of school can be able to join the youth polytechnics. If you join the youth polytechnic, you get a certificate. From certificate, you go to a diploma. You can even go to university and get a degree. That is to empower you with skills. In most of our trainings, and even in our schools now, we do not train the children on the necessary skills. We need to move on skill-oriented training so that we empower our young people. When they finish college or university, they are able to go and start their own businesses. You do not have to be employed. You do not have to be employed when you finish school. If you have the skill, you can be able to go and start your own business and get money through Youth Fund, Women Fund, and you empower yourself, and also you become an employer. So what I would like to tell the young people, Jeff, sincerely speaking, don't look to be employed. It's not like before when we used to be told, soma ukimaliza kusoma uende uandike ufanye nini. No, soma umalize kusoma uende ufungue biashara yako na wewe uandike watu wengine. Yeah?
Fred Lau. Are you convinced with what you're hearing here? Are you convinced? Because you keep calling for alternative leadership.
Thank you, Jeff. Actually, what is happening here, we got the national policies, which have to be adhered to. But our leaders don't go to that. We have very good policies, but we have poverty of ideas from our leaders. And the idea of poverty, why do they always keep on talking our people are poor, poor, poor? They utilize that, they capitalize on that so that they click on power. So the policies, if the policies were well followed and implemented and articulated to the people, actually we could be very far with the development.
Yeah, good point. Okay, more questions, Go ahead.
My name is Simon Kioko Kitheka, the chairman of Chamber of Commerce, Machakos County. My question will be directed to Honorable Katuku and Kikuyu. We are blaming poor leadership to our leaders in this county. And Mr. Katuku, you were once a high-flying water minister when Mr. Kikuyu was once an MP for Machakos 10 years. And that is the time I was a young man and I was being told that work hard so that you can be a leader of tomorrow. That is the time, from that time, we have never had water in Machakos town. And I can testify that the residents of Machakos know that you people, you have been there for over 10 years and you are still coming back to convince us that you can do something else. My question is, what do you think you can do better than what you never did when you were once a minister? Kikuyu was once an MP. You were here. You never did anything until the other time when Charity Gilu came and repaired Maruba Dam. Please, can you tell us what you can do? Because we don't think that you can offer alternative leadership in this county. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bwana Kikuyu, you go first.
Yeah, I think it's a very simple question. Very, very simple. I didn't expect such a simple question from such an educated guy. In the first place,
Good.
The system in this nation,
Yeah.
since we got independence, was who gets money, that is, which constituents gets money, is a constituents which supports the system. It's not Machakos town alone. There are other areas like Kuria, where they have been also having problems like me. There are areas like Mombasa, where we have this Mombasa Republican Council. Because they have been sidelined. Money was not being budgeted properly. It's not now in Kibaki's government that everybody is saying, we have done, we have done, we have done. What have they done? It's Kibaki who has done it. It's not they. What have they done? There was all these governments, all through. There was no water in Machakos. There were no roads. They have been tarmacked. Electricity is there. This is Kibaki's legacy. It's not an individual legacy. Now I want to go and produce Kikuyu's legacy because there is money to do it.
I like that legacy, eh? Bwana Katuku.
Thank you, Jeff. First and foremost, I want to appreciate Kideka, who used to be my friend when we were teaching someplace after my A-levels. We were teaching together, and he's a good friend of mine. We must appreciate, as Kikuyu has said, where we are coming from and where we are going. If you don't appreciate our history, you'll not be able to go where we want to go. One of the things, and Kideka will bear with me, is the rehabilitation of Maluba Dam. I've heard people talk here in Machakos, trying to praise themselves or try to praise people they support. The Maluba planning of rehabilitation was done in 2006, and implementation was done in 2007, 2008. So the planning and looking for money to allocate in the budget was done by the minister then and implemented by the minister current. So you must appreciate that. And we went there with the leaders. You must appreciate that kind of thing. We went to Maluba. I see this Maluba there's no water here. We need to raise the systems, the wall to get more water and put new infrastructure. Because the pipes which are there were put by the colonists. You must also appreciate, I came to this town, for example, I rehabilitated 6 bores. Mutituni, here behind Back Garden, just as we got the mortuary there, and many others in this town to see how we can boost water system. But the problem of water in Machakos is not yet solved. Even we went down there with the Kikuyu and the Kaindi and others. There's a nice place. We can do a good dam to bring water here, not rely on Maluba alone and the Kilimanjaro. So what I'm saying is that we must plan. And as a minister, I know what we can do. I have been involved in the policy development of irrigation in this country. I've been to places to see what is missing. And what is missing in our government is allocation of resources to infrastructure ministries. I've been to Morocco. Morocco gives 60% of its budget, 60%, I was there, to agriculture, which water is under that ministry. And they have done big water canals. They're big water systems. And that is what we need in this country. It is not playing games. It's a question of why did we fight for the constitution change? It is because resources were going only to politically correct people. I can give you a good example from my village. When we had the Kano system, electricity was given up to Mulu Mutisia village, Yadhui. And Mulu Mutisia said, wanaume wamefika hapo. Wala wengine wasongeshe. I was an MP. Munya was an MP. We could not make it. But when I became the minister, I went to Kibaki and told him, surely, how can you have... That is what we are saying. And the power was given to us the other side. That is political patronage. And that's what we are saying. For the development of this country, we don't need those kind of political patronage, where you get the resources because you are loyal to the systems of the day. Okay. We want the policies.
All right. Which more, you want to say something real quick?
I'd like to say something on that. Jeff, it's not also about loyalty. Your people have elected you to go out there and look for resources for them. Even if it means I have to go on my knees for my people to get what they need, then I will do that. Because when I go back home, the problem is to me. We should be able to work with anybody. You know, we can sit here and blame Moi and blame what? Let us all stop all this blame game. Let us stop the blame game. Yeah. If you are a leader, no matter where you are, even if you are left in the middle of as the desert.